The friend who puts you down, they're jealous of you, they're insecure. Self-explanatory.
They intentionally give you bad advice, they spill your secrets to everybody, but they're super nice to your face.
Another sign to look out for is they're never the villain. They are always the victim.
Listen, I've had this with almost all my friends.
Okay, before you start pointing fingers at your friends and cut them off, you do know that those signs can apply to you too, right? I get it. Those videos could be... I wouldn't say that they have a misleading title, but I do understand that you would immediately think of your friends as the subject of the video instead of you. Of course, if your friend happens to show some or most of the toxic signs, you confront them, and if it doesn't work out, i.e. they disregard your feelings, then, you cut them off. But this video is not about them. This video is about you. Yes, you. At this point, I think you already know what constitutes a toxic friend. Maybe toxic is a strong word, so I guess a bad friend works too. But I think this video can apply to any one of us, since we all have some bad traits of a friend anyway. I know I do. Sometimes I unintentionally dominate conversations. I take things personally. I kind of suck at listening. Not that I don't want to listen, it's just that I tend to get so invested in whatever the other person is saying that my mind starts to formulate questions. Or I get anxious about what to say when the other person stops talking, because silence is unsettling. When I'm mad at someone, it's easier, more convenient to give them the cold shoulder and silent treatment instead of communicating it with them straight. Oopsie daisies. Not proud of that. Not proud of any of that. I am working on all that. It's not as bad as it used to be. The fact that you clicked on this video shows that you're a good friend already, because the title says, "What if you're the toxic friend?" I guess the fact that it triggers you into wanting to be better shows that you're being introspective. And that's great. Good for you. We're all in this together. I'm still improving myself. So why don't you go, after you're watching this video, why don't you go and watch those videos again, but this time you shift your focus and think of you as the subject of those videos. It also helps if you write down any of the signs that resonate with you, so that you would be aware of what you should do less of and what you should do more of. If you want, I can link some of the videos in the description so that you don't have to search for it yourself. You're welcome. Also, here are some of the things you can do so that you can be a better person and a better friend. It's what works for me. I hope it works for you. What does this have to do with being a good friend, you may ask? Well, you can't give love if you don't have anything to give. If you love yourself, you are more likely to have empathy. You communicate things better, you set boundaries, you respect one another, all good things. There are plenty on YouTube. I can link some of them in the description, but my personal favorite is one by Mark Manson. He's quite straightforward, no fluff, very confrontational. It's also not, it addresses the sucky things about self-improvement, and I like that. It sounds more honest. Yeah, definitely check out Mark Manson. He also writes articles. He is the one who wrote Subtle Art. If I want to recommend a self-help book, it would definitely be The Subtle Art. That one changed my life. I hope it changed yours too. I also subscribe to Mark Manson's newsletter. I also just discovered James Clear's newsletter. I'd love to try that out, and maybe it works for you too. Mark Manson and James Clear's newsletters. You can also consider reading the Bible. The Bible's great too. If you're not a Christian, you can consider reading it. It's a good book, seriously. I recommend reading the easier translations, ESV, NIV. Journaling helps. Writing stuff down helps. It can help you be aware of your bad friend traits, for starters. Just look up journaling prompts of any topics. Well, in this case, friends. So, journal prompts for being a better friend. My go-to place to look for journaling prompts is on Pinterest. But again, Mark Manson's newsletter. This is not sponsored. Every week he gives journal prompts that you can do. Of course, it's not just about being a good friend, but it's also about being a good person. If you're a baller, I dare you to do this. I am still mustering up the courage to do this myself. It's one of the scariest, hardest things you can do, but it doesn't hurt to do it, right? You can call that person, you know who I'm talking about, apologize from being a crappy friend, thank them for being a good friend, and if they still decide to cut ties with you, that's fine. It sucks. Ouch. Yeah, it does suck, but think of this as a lesson for you to be a better friend. Also think of this as new opportunities for you to make new friends. Working on being a better person is not the same thing as building up skills for you to be good at math, for example. For that, you can make linear progress, right? But in terms of self-improvement, it's not a linear progress. Sometimes the process goes like this, and then boom, you go back to square one. And then, you go up and down again, blah, 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 until you're there. Even when you're there, there's still a tendency for you to fall down. But that's fine, because you go back up. That's life. And that's fine. You will never be a perfect friend, because there's no such thing. There's also no such thing as never fighting or arguing with your friend. There's no such thing. It's just part of life. But you are and will continue to be a better friend, a good friend. You're all good. Come here. Do you want a hug? I don't know how I'm supposed to hug you. I'll just blow a kiss. There you go. Mwah. Mwah. Wahoo. I can't even blow a kiss. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so feel free to leave your stories, your advice, so that we can learn something from each other. Okay? Bye-bye.